So what was the question again? Oh, why is it called the traffic jam? Well, you know, the reason is, it's because I have two really cool cars. Seriously cool cars. And I love drifting, racing, because I am fast and slick, and plus I like to create a bit of traffic jam myself with a whole lot of great music. Burumnaka, my name is Real, your host and DJ, right here on the Today FM Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 p.m. to 7. Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
In this bulletin, the President reminds parliamentarians to uphold their oath. Parliamentary ceremony returns after a lapse of 8 years. And government whip ready for Parliament duties. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The members of the Parliament were today reminded to keep the trust and confidence of the people who have voted for them. Speaking at the opening of the new Parliament sitting, the President urged the new MPs to dedicate themselves to the democratic ideal of genuine equality for all Fijians. Akusita Tale reports.
Honourable members, you may be seated.
For the first time in our parliamentary history, parliamentarians will be closely observed by the public with daily TV broadcasts and live streaming during the sessions. This was picked up by the President Ratu Epeli Nailatikau in his address in the first sitting of Parliament, as he reminded parliamentarians that Fijians will be listening and watching them on either radio, television or the permanent live streaming of proceedings via the internet.
It is a sacred trust that you have all pledged before God to uphold in your oaths of office. Those who have sent you here have already demonstrated their passionate desire to exercise their democratic right with a remarkable election turnout of more than 80%.
Parliament formally convened today after 8 years at the chamber that's seen some of the greatest events of Fiji's history.
These include the meetings of the Legislative Council in colonial times that set the scene for our independence from Britain, and the first gathering of the Parliament of an independent Fiji 44 years ago in 1970. Within these walls have echoed the voices of the great historical figures who fought for our rights and for those who led us to nationhood.
Unfortunately, this same chamber was also the setting for one of the most painful and traumatic events of Fiji's history, whose impact lingers on us almost 3 decades on.
At 10 a.m. on May the 14th, 1987, a group of soldiers entered the Parliament, stopped the proceedings, and herded the newly elected government of Dr. Timothy Mbavandra away at gunpoint.
Ratu Epeli, who is a former Speaker of the House of Representatives, also commended Dr. Chiko Luveni on her appointment as the country's first female Speaker of the House of Representatives.
To become the first woman Speaker of a Parliament in Fiji, or in any other Pacific Island country, is a singular achievement and an inspiration to the women everywhere.
Parliament has adjourned to next week, and the new MPs have been urged to take part in an induction workshop that will be held tomorrow and on Thursday at Suva's Holiday Inn. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
President Ratu Epeli Nailatikau says the government will build on the reforms of the past 8 years to continue improving the lives of Fijians. Ritika Pratap highlights the journey of the government for the next 4 years.
Many of the government's initiatives are designed to alleviate poverty, to provide a leg up for Fijians. In an effort to unlock further potential for e-Tokay landowners to generate wealth for their land, the government will, set aside $10 million to help Ethiopia use their land for subdivision and development. The funding will be made available as grants. The government will also ensure that the Ethiopia Land Trust Board performs at the highest level and reforms at TLTB will continue. Land-owning units will now not have to pay application fees when leasing their own land. The president also says the government intends to reduce cost of living pressures. National minimum wage will be revised upwards in line with the recommendations of the Rugby report to a new rate of $2.32 an hour from 1st July 2015. Electricity subsidy for low-income earners will increase from 75 kilowatts to 85 kilowatts per hour. Free water for Fijian households earning less than a total income of $30,000.
Free education will now be available 1 year before admission to primary school, as recognized and accredited preschools.
Social security system for non-FNPF members will continue and eligibility rate will be lowered to 68 from 1st July 2015 and further lowered to 66 in July 2016. Fijians earning less than $20,000 will get all prescribed medicine for non-communicable disease, currently under price control free. Essential drugs will remain under price control. Other reforms include government will now take control of the import of all fossil fuels. International tenders will be called for the supply of fuel and existing companies will then buy that fuel from the government. All state land on which squatters have been living will be subdivided and squatters will be given 99 years leases. Negotiations will also be made with Ethiopia landowners to give 99-year residential leases to squatters. $1 million will also be set aside to provide emergency assistance to Fijians earning below $20,000 who have proper leases but no insurance and have lost their homes in fire. Government will double the amount payable under workmen's compensation for death and injury claims. The president says all these measures are designed to assist Fijians, create economic growth and reduce gap between the more fortunate and the less fortunate amongst us. Vritika Pratap, FBC News.
The President Ratoepeli Nailatikau launched Fiji's new democracy today in the newly refurbished chamber at government buildings in Suva. Ellen Stahls reports.
The inspection of the Guard of Honour, mounted by the Fiji military forces at the entrance of Parliament buildings, was the first on the agenda this morning. This ceremony being performed for the first time in 8 years. The President was then led towards the chamber by the Secretary General to Parliament, Vinyana Namosimalua, and the senior table officer, and they were joined by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Chico Luveni. A mace bearer joined the procession and led the delegation into the chamber. Members of Cabinet, parliamentarians, the judiciary, diplomatic corps and other invited guests filled the chamber for the address.
We gather together as a nation today to mark a momentous occasion, the launch of our new democracy. 44 years after independence, Fiji has finally held a general election based on the genuine democratic principle of equal votes of equal value.
The proceedings this morning are yet another sign of Fiji's journey towards democracy.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Chico Luveni, has adjourned Parliament to 9:30 a.m. on Monday. For FBC News, I'm Ellen Stahls.
Retired Navy Commander Semi Koroila-Visau has been appointed the government whip. So what exactly does a government whip do? Maggie Boyle caught up with Koroila-Visau to find out.
At first glance, it's clear to see why Semi Koroila-Visau is government whip. He's someone not many people would say no to.
The 18 years in the Navy, I retired as a commander. And then I have been running Captain Cook cruises for the last 20 years. And basically, being chairman of a lot of boards and councils. And I suppose my military background plays in, because I can gather the troops together and pull them in to make a concerted effort towards what we want to achieve.
While the position suggests an obvious disciplinarian, the workload is so much more.
It's basically putting our business together and ensure that we are in order and have all our documentations and things in order to be able to present ourselves in Parliament during debates.
Corella Vesau says his focus will be to ensure the ruling party's manifesto is implemented.
We need to toe the party line. It's basically the manifestos that has been given out. So I make sure that I drive the members towards having the manifestos being implemented, and I go around and around the members of our party to ensure that what we need to facilitate actually goes through.
Whips are known as the party enforcers, ensuring party members vote according to the official party policy. Corella Vesau, whose previous role, as he put it, was to keep the troops in line, will have his work cut out for him over the next 4 years. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Coming up, Agriculture Ministry monitors claims of worms in ginger exports.
Pula FM 6.2 na sera ni wasiningon na ni batara ni sibiti ko weekend na diwa na tini na miniti na may pakuriti ora bengrabe na nontan nongo kanda na dabiti ko ni rona kaloko ena ka venden debo ni na tay wali ni may dabiti ko na wani matakabo na libsar ti ko na bisera talio ni na namaka do batiti ko may kina na kenan daw ro di kanamaki Pula binaka ayo salamilawa do batiki ya wana batara na wani dio na kaloko moni tiki na barumbuka ena Pula FM 6.2 ena sera.
My name is Luca. I live on the second floor.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Bulabinaka, for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was. I think it's 'cause.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Opposition leader Rotemumu Kepa is looking forward to her new role in Parliament. Rotemumu was unanimously elected as leader by the 18 members of the opposition. They include members of SEDELPA and the National Federation Party.
We have to look at the workings of government in particular, in terms of good governance, transparency, accountability, and those are some of the areas that we need to look at in terms of the performance of government.
Rotemumu adds both the government and the opposition members have good teams in Parliament and everyone is looking forward to good discussions. The Agriculture Ministry is monitoring reports of calls by a group of Australian farmers to ban the import of Fijian ginger. The group issued a statement following the arrival of the first shipment of ginger to Queensland recently. Vosita Kotai Wasawasa reports.
The Australian Banana Industry Imports Risk Committee is concerned about the shipments after reports of the discovery of live root knot nematodes on the ginger.
We have been informed about the stance that the growers in Australia have taken, but this is normal in a business. There is competition. They are there to protect their own industry, but as far as Fiji is concerned, our ginger is still going to the Australian markets.
Fiji sent 2 shipments of ginger to Australia after a ban was lifted recently.
There has not been any official correspondence through biosecurity or to Fiji, the Fijian government. So we are just seeing how things go on the other side. But here in Fiji, things are normal, and we are doing our very best to minimize the risks that are involved as well.
Wasita Kote Wasawasa, FBC News.
After a few weeks of sailing, crew members on board the Samoan and Cook Islands Voyaging canoes are today resting and preparing for their next leg of the journey. This time next week, they'll be on their way to Sydney, Australia, accompanied by a third Voyaging canoe, the Utonialo. Sakiusa Naivoa has more.
Strong gusty winds and heavy swells greeted these canoes as they arrived into Suva yesterday afternoon. No doubt the sight of land a relief for the crew members on board, the Ngawalofa of Samoa and the Manumanu Atua of the Cook Islands.
It's only just the beginning. I mean, we left Rarotonga, went to Samoa, and from Samoa to Fiji, so with every leg that goes along, it's just great to meet people who have the same vision and the same knowledge through traditional navigation and through sailing, Polynesian voyaging.
Canoes are on a mission collectively. The Mua voyage will convey the Pacific Islands message to the world about our people, our islands, our ocean, our future.
Last 5 years we've seen some of the biggest declarations in protected areas in history coming out of the Pacific, and Phoenix Islands, a big declaration, almost 500,000 square kilometers. Cook Islands, and you have the Cook Islands Vaka representing that declaration by their Prime Minister. That's 1 million square kilometers. And then you've got some others that are coming out. Fiji has declared 30% of its marine area. And then Micronesia, the Micronesia Challenge.
The voyage is taking the message that the Pacific people are calling for partnerships to help sustain the islands for future generations and for the health of the planet.
The World Parks Congress happens once every 10 years, and it's a celebration of when countries around the world have put aside big natural spaces, just for the recognition of the importance of health in nature, healthy things like species, etc. And in terms of parks, protected areas, managed areas, often it's seen as a Western term, but in the Pacific we're also starting to appreciate the meaning of better management.
Next week, the crew members of the Utonialo, Ngawalofa and Marumoro Atua will raise awareness on the significance of the Mua voyage before settling sail for Sydney on Monday. Sakiusa Naivoa, FBC News.
And Jamie joins us now with today's sports.
Thanks, Jackie, and good evening. Coming up, 2 changes to Fiji's 7th side ahead of the Gold Coast tournament, and Super Football prepares for a tough journey to the IDC's Final Four. This and more after the break.
छू 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 हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची, इट्स हॉट।
Yoni borongo tu mai na Radio Fiji 1 totoka tunan raki na ngona ni ko ni takini yoni nandoba tu mai na ngono go me ga ben na ruana no binga rabi na singale ni ko ni sangula binaka oya wana kamana langi na makia na bi mataka mai na diwa ki na rua na bi singale bo mai na moni tikina borombo ka na Radio Fiji 1 nando mai biti bonga ni bi ni adu.
Welcome back. The Vodafone Fiji 7's team arrived in Australia earlier this morning and has settled in well as the countdown to the Gold Coast tournament continues. Having lost the services of Emosi Mulevoro and Eminoni Nasilasila through injury, coach Ben Ryan has drafted Vatemo Ravavo and Jerry Tuwai into the tournament squad. Despite the last-minute changes, the team management remains confident in their campaign.
Unfortunately for them, they have been hit with injuries. Emosi with his ankle hasn't fully recovered well, and Amenoni, the concussion from last week, still have side effects. So we've taken the precaution on both of them, just to stand them down and let them fully recover. And at the same time, with the performance that Vatemo Ravovo and Jerry Tuwai has done over in Nusa, we have pulled them into the squad. So Jerry's here with us now. Vatemo Ravovo will be flying in tomorrow morning.
Kovesi added that the win in the Oceania Sevens by the Shadow Fiji side last weekend came as welcoming news for the main team.
Well, after the win over in Nusa with the Oceania Sevens Championship, it has pretty much boosted the players that we've got here, and at the same time it's placed an onus on them to perform as well, seeing that what the Fiji team has done has proven themselves by playing against Samoa's #1 team, and also 8 of the players from the New Zealand team are coming through. They're only adding 4 more.
Being a traditional powerhouse in sevens rugby, South Africa will be one of the top contenders for the title this weekend. The side is always an unpredictable outfit and has been on the rise this year under the guidance of coach Neil Powell, winning the Commonwealth Games gold medal earlier this year. The team is already being touted as a top challenger to take out the 2014-2015 series title.
Yeah, obviously I think because it's a qualification for the Olympics, I think it's going to be important for us to get a good start. So hopefully we can have a good start in this one, but it's going to be tough. I think we have a tough crossover for the quarterfinals. So we'll focus on that first game that we play against Wales. That's also going to be a tough one, and if we get through that one, we'll shift our focus to the next one. So very important for us to get a good start in this first tournament.
Meanwhile, referees for the Gold Coast Sevens have also arrived in Australia and are ready to play their part. These men who will control matches for the 2 days have been following their own training programs as they bid to keep up with fitness sevens players from around the world. The top whistleblowers were out and about on the Gold Coast today preparing for the tournament.
Teams will come with different challenges as they start afresh, and the expectation is much bigger than we anticipate. So just looking forward to the different unforeseen challenges that await us.
There's not very much change this year, so it comes back to the fundamentals of making sure we referee the tackle really accurately and play advantage really well as well, so that we let the teams get nice quick ball so they can use it and play that good attractive sevens rugby. Yeah.
And all 16 teams taking part in the first IRB 7 Series tournament of the year have arrived at their team hotels on the Gold Coast. From early this morning, teams took to the fields to polish up their game plans and set pieces before the tournament starts. There's a lot of seriousness being shown by all teams, as this is a crucial season with the top 4 place sides qualifying for the 2016 Olympics. Meanwhile, New Zealand has the services of Fijians Tomasi Dama Jr. and Lotte Raikambula, who are making a comeback this season. The Suva football side knows that qualifying for the semi-finals at this year's Courts Inter-District Championships won't be easy. With 3 points in the bag after a 3-2 win against Lambasa over the weekend, the Whites remain wary of other opponents in their pool. Rohit Deo caught up with the team at training today.
The Suva soccer team is aware of the challenges it will face to make it to the last 4 at the IDC this weekend. With Nandi and Talivunita Siri left to play in the pool stages, officials know that no team can be taken lightly.
If you look at Nandi and Suva, it's always a tough game, and Nandi is always a strong team. And Nandi got 2 national coaches who are assisting them, so they have a big advantage over Suva. But we are also focused. We also want to win, so we'll try our best to win against Nandi in the next game.
Suva has won the IDC trophy 12 times, last winning it 2 years back when Ba opted to walk out in the final. Officials are calling out on fans as their support will be crucial if Suva is to leave the prestigious ground for the 13th time.
It's good to have IDC in Suva, and soccer fans, not only Suva, Southern fans can watch all the top games here at National Stadium. I mean ANZ Stadium now. So they should come and support the team.
Suva takes on Nandi at 7:30 p.m. at the ANZ Stadium on Thursday in its second pool match. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Football Association says that the grounds to be used for the Courts Inter-District Championships are in good condition. Tournament manager Amitesh Pal says they have inspected the grounds and everything is per schedule.
Actually, the ground was closed for past a week or so, and it has really improved, and it is playable.
The tournament resumes this Thursday at the ANZ Stadium in Suva. That was your sports for tonight. Good evening.
Fiji Cooperative Dairy Company Limited will continue to invest in the dairy industry to ensure it remains sustainable. One of the company's proposed investments is a mill that has the capacity to produce 21 tons of mill feed a day for cattle. Chanel Sivan reports.
This building at Monotha in Nosori is expected to be completed by the end of the year. It will house the country's first fully automated feed mill.
It also minimizes the farmer from stocking 4 or 5 different or 3 or 4 different raw materials. The farmer does not have to buy meal mix, copra, palm kernel, molasses, vitamins and minerals separately. All this is all formulated in there, and it just takes the bag, puts in the trough, and there it goes. And that increases the efficiency on the farm. They don't have to have people mixing the feed for them. They don't have to worry whether they have got the right amount of vitamins, whether they have got the right protein in there. It's pre-formulated and it is suited just right for the dairy animals in Fiji.
A feed nutritionist from Australia is helping the company with the project.
We do not want our farmers to feed them with feed which is wasted. So, example, if you're feeding your animals more than 16-17% of protein, you're wasting it. It will go in and out of the animal without being used. If you give them a lot of energy, you're still wasting it. So you give them a lot of vitamins, you can do more harm to the animal than good. So everything has to be fed at the right proportion. So this formulation is being done in Australia.
Another project that the company is investing in involves expanding outreach and accessibility to dairy farms which are located mostly in the Central Division.
We have 2 tailor-made farm services vehicles. These vehicles are first of its kind in Fiji and is used to provide services to the farm. So these vehicles has all the equipment, all the tools, all the machinery, or all the chemicals that needs to go out to the farm. So that when my dairy advisory officers go out to the farm, they are fully equipped. So if there is an emergency in terms of carving or anything, they can get into the vehicle, drive to the farm, resting assured that everything they need is in the vehicle.
These are few items, artificial teats, which are used on calf feeders. These are more of machine parts. These are cleaning agents, which are here for sales to the farmers.
A self-made chilling truck worth about $160,000 will be imported by the end of the month. This will assist the company in daily milk collection. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
And it's weather time now with the lovely Trish.
Thank you, Jackie. Well, the rain is certainly providing some relief, and it's so nice to hear the rain after such a long time. There were occasional showers over all the centers today. Suvanandi recorded 22 and 21 millimeters of rain until 9 a.m. today. Temperatures were in the high 20s and early 30s. Lambasa recorded the highest temperature at 33 degrees today. It also had the lowest temperature at one point during the day at 21 degrees. So did Ba. Tomorrow you can expect more of the same with occasional showers, more cloud throughout the day. Mariners can expect rough seas. This photo was taken at one of the most scenic places on Viti Levu. That's the Nosori Highlands looking over Nandongo village. Thanks Vilikesa Rangio. You can also send us your photos and we will show them right here on FBC TV.
Thanks so much for that, Trish. The main points again: President Ratuepeli Nailatikau has reminded parliamentarians to uphold their oath as they embark on their 4-year parliamentary journey. The Agriculture Ministry is monitoring reports of calls by a group of Australian farmers to ban the import of Fijian ginger. And the Vodafone Fiji Sevens team in Australia has settled in well as the countdown to the Gold Coast tournament continues. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's all from the team tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow evening. Till then, bye for now.
Great words there from Lucky Dube and Babana. Hope you enjoyed that number. Different colors just for you on Gold FM. Only the classic hits. Louise with you on the Center Show. Well, thank you so much for the sweet company. This is Alana Miles, one of my favorites, and Black Velvet for you. Hi there. Join me on the Center Show every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the best sounds on Gold FM. Only the classic hits.